and down. Verbos con la preposición down. And down. Verbos con la preposición down.
To go down, to come down.
Tendrás que bajar al sótano.
You'll need to go down to the basement.
Bajé allí esta mañana.
I went down there this morning.
Entonces tendrás que volver a bajar allí.
Then you'll have to go back down there.
¿Con quién vas a bajar a Londres?
Who are you going down to London with?
Bajaron todo el camino a México desde Canadá.
They went down to Mexico all the way from Canada.
¿Cuándo vas a bajar a Londres a vernos?
When are you coming down to London to see us?
Los escaladores bajaron la montaña despacio.
The climbers went down the mountain slowly.
Él estaba bajando las escaleras cuando se cayó.
He was coming down the stairs when he fell.
Hizo mucho frío tras ponerse el sol.
It got very cold after the sun went down.
Podremos jugar hasta que se ponga el sol.
We will be able to play until the sun goes down.
Like a yo-yo. Peter had a meeting on the 20th floor of one of the tallest buildings in the city. He went up in the lift, but he was told he had to go down to the 18th floor because the meeting had been moved. It was only 2 floors, so Peter went down the stairs, but as he was going down, he tripped and hurt his ankle. He went down the rest of the stairs very slowly to avoid any more accidents. In fact, he went down so carefully that he didn't realize that he had gone down to the 17th floor by mistake. To put down.
Por favor, deja el florero.
Please, put down the vase.
Déjalo o lo romperás.
Put it down or you'll break it.
Él dejó el sombrero y salió de la tienda.
He put down the hat and left the shop.
Él lo dejó porque era demasiado caro.
He put it down because it was too expensive.
Creía que había dejado las llaves justo aquí.
I thought I put my keys down right here.
Después de 10 tonos, ella colgó el teléfono.
After 10 rings, she put down the phone.
Ella colgó el teléfono y empezó a llorar.
She put it down and started crying.
Él olvidó dónde dejó su copa.
He forgot where he put his drink down.
Cuelga el teléfono ahora mismo.
Put the phone down right now.
Suelta la maleta y únete a nosotros.
Put your suitcase down and join us.
In a hurry. When Peter opened his front door, he could hear the phone ringing, so he quickly put down his things and picked up the phone. It was the office calling to tell him that he needed to go back. Peter looked for his keys, but he couldn't remember where he had put them down. He usually puts them down on the kitchen counter, but because of the rush to answer the phone, he must have put them down somewhere else. Peter sat down to think about where he had put down his keys. After a few minutes, he realized he hadn't put them down anywhere. He had left them in the door. To sit down.
Por favor, pase y siéntese.
Please, come in and sit down.
Siempre se sientan todos juntos en las comidas.
They always sit down together for meals.
¿Se sientan a la mesa?
Do they sit down at the table?
Claro que se sientan a la mesa.
Of course they sit down at the table.
Algunas familias se sientan delante de la tele para comer.
Some families sit down in front of the TV for meals.
Después de todo eso, me tengo que sentar un minuto.
After all that, I need to sit down for a minute.
Nunca te sientes a no ser que te inviten a hacerlo.
Never sit down unless you're invited to.
Él se sentó en el banco a leer el periódico.
He sat down on the bench to read his newspaper.
Sentémonos y hablemos sobre esto como Dios manda.
Let's sit down and talk about this properly.
Por fin las dos partes se sentaron juntas para hablar.
The two sides finally sat down together for talks.
Humble pie. After a long day at work, Peter likes to sit down in front of the TV and relax for a while. However, today he had been sitting down all day and he didn't feel like sitting down anymore. He went for a jog to stretch his legs because he knew that later he would have to sit down with his family for dinner. When Peter got to his parents' house, he sat down in his usual chair and waited for everyone else to sit down. But no one else sat down because Peter had sat down on the dessert. To lie down.
Ella fue a echarse un par de horas.
She went to lie down for a couple of hours.
¿Por qué está tumbada?
Why is she lying down?
Está tumbada porque no se encuentra bien.
She's lying down because she doesn't feel well.
Échate en el sofá unos minutos.
Lie down on the sofa for a few minutes.
Si me tumbo, me quedaré dormido.
If I lie down, I'll fall asleep.
¿Te has tumbado alguna vez en una cama de agua?
Have you ever lain down on a waterbed?
Preferiría tumbarme en el césped.
I'd rather lie down on the grass.
No te tumbes ahí, está sucio.
Don't lie down there. It's dirty.
Creo que me echaré una siesta después de la comida.
I think I'll have a lie down after lunch.
El perro se tumbó delante de la chimenea.
The dog lay down in front of the fire.
The squeaky mattress. Peter needs to buy a new mattress because when he lies down on his, it squeaks and isn't very comfortable. At the store, the sales clerk invited him to lie down on as many mattresses as he wanted. Peter wanted to lie down on all of them to be sure he bought the right one. But after lying down on every mattress in the shop, Peter wasn't convinced that there was one there that he wanted to lie down on every night. He had heard that lying down on the floor was good for your back, but he'd rather lie down on his old squeaky mattress than lie down on the floor every night. To slow down.
Despacio, no entiendo ni una palabra.
Slow down. I can't understand a word.
Ve más despacio, hay cámaras aquí.
Slow down. There are speed cameras here.
El corredor redujo la velocidad en la vuelta final.
The runner slowed down on the final lap.
El tráfico empieza a ralentizarse en la hora punta.
Traffic starts to slow down during rush hour.
Él redujo la velocidad cuando vio el accidente delante.
He slowed down when he saw the accident ahead.
Le dijeron que su metabolismo se estaba ralentizando.
They told him his metabolism was slowing down.
Él redujo la velocidad cuando vio su salida.
He slowed down when he saw his exit.
Ralentizó su respiración antes de subir al escenario.
He slowed his breathing down before going on stage.
Los frenos se rompieron y no pudo reducir la velocidad.
The brakes failed and he couldn't slow down.
La vacuna ralentizó la propagación de la enfermedad.
The vaccine slowed down the spread of the disease.
Speed is of the essence. Peter hasn't slowed down since his parents arrived, but they're leaving today and he can't wait to take them to the airport. On the way there, Peter noticed that traffic was slowing down, so he slowed down and took the next exit. Peter was driving like a madman, and his father reminded him that since the economy was slowing down, he couldn't afford to get a speeding ticket, so Peter slowed down to the speed limit. However, his heart rate wouldn't slow down until his parents were on their plane. To calm down.
Al final, ella se tranquilizó.
She finally calmed down.
El barco no puede cruzar hasta que el mar se calme.
The boat can't cross until the sea calms down.
Las buenas noticias deberían tranquilizarle un poco.
The good news should calm him down a bit.
Esperemos que él se calme.
Let's hope he calms down.
Cálmate o harás algo de lo que te arrepentirás.
Calm down or you'll do something you regret.
Llamaron a la policía para calmar la situación.
The police were called to calm down the situation.
Cálmate.
Calm down.
La bolsa se tranquilizó por fin.
The stock market finally calmed down.
La pequeña se tranquilizó cuando vio a su madre.
The little girl calmed down when she saw her mother.
Probablemente fueron los caramelos lo que la calmaron.
It was probably the sweets that calmed her down.
Nervous wreck. After getting his parents safely on their plane, Peter was able to relax and calm down. It had been a very stressful few days, and Peter felt he needed a holiday to calm down a bit. However, he wouldn't be able to take a holiday until things at work calmed down, and that wouldn't happen until the stock market calmed down as well. Perhaps he would take up meditation, as he had heard it calms you down. To turn down.
¿Podrías bajar la calefacción, por favor?
Could you please turn the heating down?
¿Te importaría bajar el aire acondicionado?
Would you mind turning the air conditioning down?
Ya lo han bajado.
It's already been turned down.
¿Puedo bajar el ventilador?
Can I turn the fan down?
¿Les pedimos que bajen la música?
Shall we ask them to turn down the music?
Ya se les ha dicho que la bajen.
They've already been told to turn it down.
¿Te importaría bajar el volumen?
Would you mind turning the volume down?
Baja el horno a 150 grados.
Turn the oven down to 150 degrees.
Deberías bajar el volumen de tu teléfono.
You should turn down the volume on your phone.
Estamos en medio de una recesión económica.
We're in the middle of an economic downturn.
Peace and quiet. Peter was trying to read at home, but his neighbors wouldn't turn their music down, and Peter couldn't concentrate. He had already asked them to turn it down twice, so instead of asking them to turn it down a third time, he went to the library. There, Peter found a nice quiet corner and started reading again, but he had forgotten to turn down the volume on his phone, and it rang. The librarian told Peter he would either have to turn it down or find somewhere else to read. To copy down.
Copia todos los nombres.
Copy all the names down.
Cópialos en este cuaderno.
Copy them down into this notebook.
Cópialo en esta hoja de papel.
Copy it down onto this piece of paper.
¿Lo has copiado todo?
Did you copy everything down?
Lo copié todo palabra por palabra.
I copied it down word for word.
No olvides dónde lo copiaste.
Don't forget where you copied it down.
¿Por qué él no copió el número de teléfono?
Why didn't he copy down the phone number?
Lo copió mal.
He copied it down wrong.
Copia esa matrícula.
Copy down that license plate.
Copia las respuestas deprisa.
Copy down the answers quickly.
Copycat. Peter had never bought anything advertised on TV, but when he saw the knife set, he knew he had to have it. He copied down the name of the set and the price, and was about to copy down the phone number when a new advertisement started. He had only managed to copy down the first half of the telephone number, so he had to wait until the advertisement ran again to copy down the rest of it. While he was waiting, Peter copied down 5 other phone numbers of products he wanted to buy. To note down.
Anotaron lo que ella dijo.
They noted down what she said.
Ella anotó su dirección.
She noted down his address.
No tengo nada donde anotarlo.
I don't have anything to note it down on.
Anótalo en esta servilleta.
Note it down on this napkin.
¿Puedo coger tu boli para anotarlo?
Can I borrow your pen to note it down?
Él anotó su número de teléfono.
He noted down her phone number.
Asegúrate de anotarlo en un sitio seguro.
Make sure you note it down somewhere safe.
Él les dio un montón de fechas importantes que anotar.
He gave them a lot of important dates to note down.
¿Por qué no los anotó él?
Why didn't he note them down?
Ella intentó anotar la letra de la canción.
She tried to note down the lyrics to the song.
The Black Book. When Peter got stopped for speeding, the policeman noted down a lot of information. Before even talking to him, he noted down the number plate. He also noted down the make and model of Peter's car. And he noted down the time and date and the fact that Peter had been doing 95 miles per hour in a 70 mile per hour zone. The policeman asked Peter for his driver's license and insurance information and noted it all down in his black book. Peter was surprised at how thick the notebook was and thought to himself that the policeman must have a lot of names noted down in it. To write down.
¿No te acuerdas de dónde lo apuntaste?
Don't you remember where you wrote it down?
Lo apunté en un pedacito de papel.
I wrote it down on a scrap of paper.
Deberías haberlo apuntado en tu agenda.
You should have written it down in your diary.
Asegúrate de apuntar toda la información.
Make sure you write down all the information.
No hace falta apuntarlo todo.
There's no need to write it all down.
Él debe de haberlo apuntado mal.
He must have written it down wrong.
¿Conseguiste apuntar la matrícula?
Did you manage to write down the number plate?
Solo tuve tiempo para apuntar la primera parte.
I only had time to write down the first part.
¿Qué estás apuntando?
What are you writing down?
Mi médico me dijo que tengo que apuntarlo todo.
My doctor told me I need to write everything down.
Write it down. Most people don't write things down anymore because everyone has a PDA or a similar gadget. But Peter is traditional and still likes to write things down. In fact, he writes so many things down that he uses up a stack of post-it notes every day. He's afraid of not writing something down and forgetting it. The problem is that he writes so many things down that he forgets where he has written them down. To break down.
Llegué tarde porque mi coche se averió.
I was late because my car broke down.
Es la segunda vez que se me avería esta semana.
That's the second time it's broken down this week.
Mi ciclomotor nunca se ha averiado.
My moped has never broken down.
Un autobús se averió en la autopista.
A bus broke down on the motorway.
Las negociaciones de paz han fracasado una vez más.
Peace talks have broken down again.
Su matrimonio fracasó después de 3 años.
Their marriage broke down after 3 years.
Todo lo que tiene ahora es un coche averiado.
All he has now is a broken down car.
Se avería un día sí y uno no.
It breaks down every other day.
¿Qué hizo él cuando su coche se averió?
What did he do when his car broke down?
Él compró un coche nuevo que no se averiaría tanto.
He bought a new car that wouldn't break down so much.
Down on your luck. On his way to the airport, Peter's car broke down on the motorway, but luckily there was a taxi passing by that picked him up. Unfortunately, the taxi broke down as well, so Peter got out of the broken-down car and hitchhiked. When he finally got to the airport, he was told that his flight had been canceled because the plane had broken down on the runway. If Peter couldn't get to his business meeting, the negotiations would break down. to let down.
No me falles, ¿vale?
Don't let me down, okay?
¿Te he fallado alguna vez?
Have I ever let you down?
Al pobre chico le han fallado mucho últimamente.
The poor guy has been let down a lot lately.
¡Qué decepción!
What a letdown.
Él le falló al equipo.
He let the team down.
Todos se sienten decepcionados contigo.
Everyone feels let down by you.
Además, te has fallado a ti mismo.
Plus, you've let yourself down.
Sintieron que el gobierno les había fallado.
They felt that the government had let them down.
Si te he fallado, lo siento.
If I've let you down, I'm sorry.
Estaba muy decepcionada cuando se lo conté.
She was really let down when I told her.
The letdown. After Peter had read the last page of his book, he felt really let down. The book was about a young boy who was let down by his parents on Christmas Day, and who told himself he would never let anyone down. The boy never made promises because he was afraid he would break them and let someone down. Peter certainly wasn't going to recommend the book to anyone else because, like the boy in the story, he didn't want to let anyone down. To break down.
El informe desglosa los resultados.
The report breaks down the results.
¿Cómo los desglosa?
How does it break them down?
Los desglosa por país.
It breaks them down by country.
Ayúdame a desglosar estas cifras.
Help me to break these figures down.
¿Te gusta la manera en que ella lo desglosó?
Do you like the way she broke it down?
Pienso que su desglose era correcto.
I think her breakdown was correct.
Los votos fueron desglosados por estados.
The votes were broken down by state.
¿Se pueden desglosar aún más?
Can they be broken down any further?
Podríamos desglosarlos por ciudades.
We could break them down by city.
Desglosa el presupuesto, por favor.
Break down the estimate, please.
Simple-minded. Peter had to break down the figures from the last sales campaign, but he had no idea how to break them down. His initial breakdown was too general, and his boss needed the breakdown to be very specific. Now, Peter wasn't sure if he should break down the sales figures by county or by city. He needed to hurry up because the figures had to be broken down by the end of the day. In the end, he decided to break them down by store. He hoped his breakdown wasn't too specific. Shut down.
Se cerraron todas las fábricas.
All the factories were shut down.
¿Quién las cerró?
Who shut them down?
¿Por qué se cerraron?
Why were they shut down?
La policía cerró su negocio ilegal.
The police shut down his illegal business.
Deberían clausurar este establecimiento.
They should shut this place down.
El restaurante fue cerrado por razones de higiene.
The restaurant was shut down for hygiene reasons.
Debería haber sido clausurado hace años.
It should have been shut down years ago.
Los pequeños negocios fueron obligados a cerrar.
Small businesses were forced to shut down.
Todas las minas se han cerrado ahora.
All the mines have shut down now.
Fueron clausurados sin ningún aviso.
They were shut down without any warning.
Shut. When Peter got to the door of his favourite restaurant, he found out that it had shut down. He wasn't sure why it had shut down, so he asked in the shop next door and discovered that the authorities had shut it down. Apparently, they had shut it down the week before because of a rat problem. In fact, the restaurant wasn't the only establishment that had shut down in the area. A cafeteria down the road had shut down, and judging by the number of customers in the bakery, it would shut down soon too. To turn down.
¿Por qué rechazó tu oferta?
Why did he turn your offer down?
Él rechazó las ofertas de todo el mundo.
He turned everyone's offer down.
¿Habrías rechazado una oferta como esa?
Would you have turned down an offer like that?
¿Ella le rechazó?
She turned him down.
He oído que él la rechazó.
I heard he turned her down.
¿Has rechazado alguna vez una oferta lucrativa?
Have you ever turned down a lucrative offer?
¿De verdad vas a rechazar el trabajo?
Are you really going to turn down the job?
Lo rechazaré si consigo una oferta mejor.
I'll turn it down if I get a better offer.
¿Qué harás si el banco te rechaza?
What will you do if the bank turns you down?
Espero que no me rechacen.
I hope they don't turn me down.
Rejected. Peter asked Jane out last Monday, and she turned him down. He doesn't know why she turned him down, but he thinks she may have turned him down because of his appearance. Jane was the third girl to turn Peter down last week. In fact, he's been turned down by every girl he's ever asked out. Perhaps he keeps getting turned down because he's only 1 meter 40 tall.